Hi, welcome to the next episode of the GrandLine Grinders podcast, episode 45. 45 weeks nonstop of doing this amazing podcast. Of course, we are joined with my uh, co-host, favorite anime villain. Definitely go check us both out on Twitch and on YouTube. The links, the subscribe button should be available to click and subscribe to all our channels and this channel, so you can be alerted every single time a podcast goes live. And today, of course, we're going to be talking about the power rankings, the new standard power rankings, and then talking about prepping for the regional championships. They went live like 2 weeks ago. People are starting to get into the mood. I think this weekend there was tournaments. We also might have a little discussion about our pre-release. Um, you know how it went for us. I have one technically again on Monday, so I'm kind of excited to see how that pans out too, because I'm trying to get certain cards from the set. Yeah, so we'll talk about that, and also, like I said, we'll talk about prepping for the championships, because you probably want to start now if you want to be ready and be your A game and get into Nats. So that's the goal tonight. So how are you doing today, favorite anime villain?
Oh, another day. Just exhausted as usual, is I guess what I mean. I'm fine though. I'm fine. Nothing too exciting going on at the moment.
I was hoping for something more exciting.
No, unfortunately, I live a pretty boring life.
I wouldn't say that. You get to play a lot of One Piece. You can't really have a boring life with that. All right,
I suppose.
so
I suppose.
yeah, so I guess I should get into that first. So, how was your pre-release? Did you win? Oh, yeah, no,
Uh,
no, you did.
nah,
So
I got
how did it go?
rolled. I got absolutely rolled. I opened the worst six packs out of anyone in the room. Um, at least in terms of playability, the only two SRs I pulled was a Sabo with three Dressrosa events that I could use, and then uh, a Jean, if you will. I pulled an alt art of that, which is good in pre-release if you're using Rainbow Luffy, but it's still a 1 out of 40 card that you have to find, and I did not. But I got steamrolled by a bunch of homies who, found the dog. I didn't draw any dogs, I didn't pull any dogs. But my homies pulled multiple dogs, so they got to double attack me a bunch. But then for like a participation pack, I pulled an SP Sabo, so that was cool. Sold it for like a couple $100 on Saturday at
That's not
a
bad.
box tournament that I went to.
It's not bad at all. So like for me, like my highlight was of course cracking, and I got the SP. I mean the all art for the 5 drop Luffy.
Yeah,
So
that was pretty cool.
and then I ended up also getting Akuma. I was pretty happy with that, and then 2 Zephs. So I was like, not shabby for a top end here. Other than that, I had a bunch of filler 2Ks. Um, that are like all the 1 drop 2Ks, which are kind of irrelevant other than just being a 2K. So that was kind of awkward, but I still managed to win all 3 of my games. Um,
Nice.
and I ended up getting the winter card, so that was a nice experience. I'm hoping I could redo that tomorrow. Then again, I don't know. Like it feels kind of weird, like because sometimes like in pre-release, like 2 times I've done it, like there's usually like 1 or 2 new people per tournament.
Hmm.
So like it is kind of like I won 3, but I mean 2 of them were kind of newer players, so yeah, I don't know. But the last win, of course, was against a pretty good player. I faced him against in the Heroin Cup. So I'm hoping on tomorrow, or actually the day of this release, I'm able to repeat and get another 3-0 and get another Boa Hancock winner. I don't know, and sell them both. But
Yeah, I mean, I'd make sure to sell them fast. They're dropping.
I have not seen them printed. I've not seen them on TCG Player yet. Posted.
They might not be. TCG players a bit shit on updating things regularly. I've just been seeing them sell on Facebook in groups, but they've dropped from like $300 to like 130. since Friday.
That's not 103 is still not bad for a card that I don't think is even playable.
I think the card is highly playable. It's just hard to fit into the deck with a lot of other cards that do very similar stuff.
You think? Isn't like a 6 drop 7,000 on play? You could add a Dawn to one of your characters or leaders.
Yeah, but that's the same effect as like 9 other cards in the deck that you actively play. Like the 6 cost Boa wouldn't be unplayable. It's just hard to slot into the deck,
Yeah, I mean because it does have a lot of
like
power creep.
space wise.
I
It's
mean,
technically like the best body that they would have in the Kuja Pirates in that range because it's just the same stat line as Kuma.
I forget. Does it have a trigger? I can't remember.
Yeah, it has the same Kuja trigger that it like plays out. Not that it plays itself, but it plays a 5k from hand.
It's not too bad.
6k maybe. It's probably a 5k because most of the Kujas are 5k.
Yeah, it's not too shabby of a card.
No, it's like very playable for the deck. The deck just has a lot of other cards to run instead. But there
Yeah.
were people who were running the oh my god, I don't even remember what the name of it is. It's not Ran because that's the one that is like good in the deck. That's the 4 cost. It's the one that like on KO heals and then does a damage to you.
Yeah, the
Um
5 drop. She's a 5 drop 5,000, I think.
yeah. Well, okay, so like most of the Kuja pirates from 14 are 5k power for
Yeah,
some
yeah,
reason.
but she's a 5 drop 5K. I think she's a common or uncommon. And yeah, she does.
Yeah,
If she gets KO'd, she deals a damage to you. You heal one, and then you deal damage, so that way maybe you could sprock a
the
trigger.
trigger,
Hmm.
yeah. I don't remember the name, but like there were people who were like actively running that card and you could just replace that with the 7 cost or people who don't have Kumas still
Yeah, or Borsalinos
or Borsalinos. Yeah,
or
it is
Nami.
technically still like a very playable card. It's just finding the space in your deck for it.
So today we're going to be talking about the power rankings and kind of doing a more deep dive on the power rankings than normal because the goal of today, of course, is to talk about prepping for the
Store
store
championship.
championships, and also technically in June there is your regionals that kind of went live in some places today. So the goal, like I said, is started with that, and of course we should probably start with the elephant in the room, which is PNL, 56% win rate, 56.9, so almost 57%. It's good into everything but Nami, Luffy, Yellow Luffy, and Boa's 50-50 and Dofi 50-50. So like two losing matchups. The rest of them are about 50-50 or higher. So not shabby, not too shabby. If you were a Doflamingo, a Nell player, how would you prep for this next tournament? What cards would you be looking for to maybe bridge your gap between the Nami and the Luffy, or would you even consider it?
There isn't. It's not so many times when like a good deck has bad matchups in this game, it's not like teching to bridge gaps into a bad matchup. Like the deck list has maybe 8 to 10 cards that you can change. None of them necessarily make you better in Nami or Luffy. They're both just bad matchups. Nami can make itself a 7k leader defensively, so if they stick Thriller Bark stuff and they freeze your 6 costs, you're done regardless. But if you stick 6 costs and you can swing tens every turn, you're probably going to win. Luffy just runs Bell Luffy. That card is entirely anti-NL.
So in those matchups, like what cards are you actively trying to look for when you look at your opening five?
When you're playing against yellow, you want to see like Omen Holly. But that's pretty much what you're looking for in every game. You're trying to stick Omen Holly and you're trying to play as many 6 costs as you can.
Yeah, get that double attack.
Genuinely, like, generally a pretty straightforward deck. It's once you want to start like comboing with the events is when it gets like more skill oriented. But it's like pretty straightforward game plan. You just want to start cheating out your 6 costs as quickly as you can. Not cheating them out, but you want to start playing them as quick as you can.
So I would say the next highest win rate deck, of course, is Nami. So she has a 55.7%. She's actively right now bad into Lucy, a little bit bad into Ace, 45%, and then she's bad into Mihawk, Roger, Emu, but Emu's fallen out of favor completely. I don't know if he's going to make a huge splash. He might. Um, and then red, yellow Bonnie. So how are you prepping? No, yeah, I'm reading that right. So how would you start prepping with Nami?
You're gonna prep for any of these decks the same way. You're just gonna play as many games as you can. That's the only way you can prepare. Watch videos on other people playing. I don't know, try to take in as much context as you can, but you're gonna get your practice by playing, and that's gonna like cover all decks. There's no secret way. You're not gonna like stand on one foot and hop around in a circle, and that's gonna prepare you more for one deck than the other. Just play as many games as you can, get as competent with the deck as you can, decide what you want to play, decide what your play style is. It's no different than deciding what you're going to take to locals. You just want to be better with the deck.
So weirdly enough, the third most winning deck is blue red Ace, which arguably I think is you might argue is the best blue deck um, on the actual list. So if you're looking to play blue, it's probably your best bet because most everything in its deck is technically blue. Except there's very few red. Um, so he's pretty much good, and he's bad into Lucy. I shouldn't say bad, right? He's 46%. It's not
I
like
mean,
that's
that's
like 50-50.
unfavored.
Yeah, slightly unfavored. 40% it looks like into P&L, 40% into Hancock, 35% into Mihawk, 48% into Roger, and then 47% into Gecko Moria. So not a terrible spread. So if it was for you, which matchups would you actually look for right now, having the best chances going into this, like for the spread?
I don't know whatever it says on the graph, dog.
I,
I don't know.
I'm not saying based on the like yeah the graphs there, but I'm saying like so if you were like preparing yourself with deck to pick, like what matchups are you actively thinking you're going to look for? They're going to see the
I would
most,
I
and
would imagine probably the 10 leaders on the list, but most likely Nell, Lucy, Nami, Ace, um, and Boa. Probably the top five, and then like Emu, Bell, Luffy, and Mihawk to add like three more. I don't. I think it's probably going to be a bunch of new leaders and then like the old strong leaders and then like three things that got buffed. Like Calgara, you'll probably see because people love Calgara.
yeah, you probably will see a lot of that. I
But
do.
like you're for sure gonna see a lot of Lucy. You're gonna see well, like you might not see them, but they will exist in the tournaments. There will be a lot of Purple and L, a lot of Lucy, a lot of Nami, a lot of Boa. Probably not as much Bell Luffy. Some people are on it, but like, it's a wild meta. You're gonna see everything.
I mean, definitely. I mean, you're definitely going to see everything, but I would assume like I think you're going to pick a. I was asking if you're going to pick a list like Boa Hancock, technically, where she's actually favored into P&L, Lucy, and Ace, but she's bad into Nami. But
I
yeah,
mean, I'm not picking Boa Hancock, but I think Boa Hancock is a fake deck. I've said that a bunch
yes,
of
yes,
times.
you have on this channel. Lucy's another one, right? Where it's like 44% into P&L. but it
It
is decent into Nami and Ace. So again,
it's like fine. It's just a really hard deck to pilot. To like pilot well. Has a high skill gap.
the deck that I'm sad to see on this list, its results is Crocodile. Like I
I
was,
don't I don't think these results are okay. So like something that you have to realize, these results are accurate to what has happened on the sim.
yes, the ring sim, yeah.
They're not accurate to what is going on in the meta necessarily. So like yes, um 34.5% of Crocodile winners won into Lucy. But then you have to split that even more into, did they win going first or did they win going second? Because these are just generalized win rates. But just because the overall statistic is bad doesn't mean that you necessarily play poorly into these lists. Like I play Enel, yellow Enel a lot, and it used to be like notoriously bad into OP07 Rob Lucci. I usually had a very favored matchup into Rob Lucci, just generally by my play style. So like just because the stats say something on the list doesn't mean that it's like accurate to the actual meta representation. I was even specifically talking about Crocodile with my editor earlier, and he was like, yeah, I don't think these are accurate. Like, I've played into a lot of these decks, and the matches don't feel bad. Like, I don't think Crocodile struggles that much into Purple and L. I could see it maybe being a little rough into Lucy, but it just stuns bodies every turn. And then it has like the Nightmare Luffy now, which is good. But I do think like unless you're playing the odd curve, you don't really have a great time to drop the Luffy after you've played Crocodile, because you really want to go Crocodile, 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 Crocodile to like one, generate as much value as you can in like stopping your opponent's swings, or like if you can go Crocodile, Crocodile, Hoot Couture, that's like the best line you can do. So like I was playing against someone on Crocodile earlier, they were on Crocodile, and they played the 8 cost croc on their first turn that they could, and then I was expecting on the next turn, another Crocodile, and then they were gonna pop it to stun another character, and they did not. They played the Nightmare Luffy, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I just took down to 1 life. I Rygoed their Luffy, and then I won that turn. So had they crocodiled instead of Luffy'd,
Yeah,
they
swap the order.
probably would have won.
Or what if they swap the order? They play the Luffy first and then the Croc.
They didn't have enough cards in trash to have done that.
Hmm.
They could have, it just wouldn't have. I mean, maybe it would have been better because I would have been at like 3 life instead of 1, so I couldn't have Ragoed the Luffy without losing more value. But I don't know. I think your game plan, they were on 8, the best thing they could do on 8, because I had Borsalino blocker, 8 cost Kid, and 7 cost Kuma on field when they dropped the first Crocodile. So they needed to start establishing crocodiles ASAP. I think if you're going to do the Luffy, your game plan maybe has to be to go first. And I don't think the deck wants that. It has kind of bad odd plays for early game.
I mean, yeah. So you're looking at your 1-drop searchers, and then you don't really do much on 3 because your best curve out on is 4. But
Yep.
then you make up for it a little bit. Not really, because I mean, because your 5-drop usually comes on your 4 dawn turn.
Yep.
So
So like if you're actually playing into your 5 dawn turn, you pretty much still just want to do what you were doing on your 4 dawn turn with playing out Bon Clay and then
yeah,
like
popping it.
cycling it into a different dude. Because if you're just playing out the Dawes Bones, your opponent's not going to have like the cost requirement for it to get character rush.
Yeah, unless you played like a miss one of the 1-drops previously and had something to get KO'd. But
Yeah.
yeah, but still, you're still not using the best use of your Dawn. Because if you could do a 4-drop, KO it, get the Mr. Bones back, rest something, put a Dawn on it, spring 7 into the character, and remove it. You have a better chance of removing it.
Also, if you're like, so the reason it's so much value to do like Bon Clay on 4 is because you're obviously cheating out a stronger character than you should be able to a turn early, and you're like applying pressure into your opponent's characters. But you're like generating extra value doing that. Whereas like just playing a 5 for 5 feels way worse.
Yeah, so it's weird, a little weird. I definitely think this can't be accurate, but I don't know. It,
I think Crocodile is a really, really hard deck to pilot.
it is. You can't make. There's very little room for error.
Yes, it's not very forgiving, and I think that can come into play. Like people just getting on the deck, not necessarily. Sometimes you can just brick out with Croc as well. You do run like a decent number of bricks, but
And so is Dofi in the same regard. So I was listening to Sakura talk about it, and he was like, "Yeah, it says we're 44% into Lucy, but it's also a new deck, and Doflamingo adjusts how it plays
yep.
with more rips you get into the deck." So
I think we're still very early into the meta to be like, oh, this is the statistic for the meta. This is the statistic on the sim for the last week. I think come next week, percentages they might not be like shifted to their polar opposite, but they will definitely be different between the March 26th power ranking and whatever the one next week will be. April 2nd, probably.
yeah, I was just wanting to mainly discuss about this because I know it's gonna be a thing, right? You guys do want to start prepping for your championships and etc. Um, and that's what we're trying to bring here. So I do
Yeah,
think
really,
hmm,
just like overall, practice as much as you can. That's really the only thing you like. Find a deck list that suits your play style and play it a billion times. Run through 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000 games. Just get as many reps in as you can. Understand how your decks play into other decks. Uh, like learn your matchups. It's especially in a jungle meta. Like depending on how early into the store championships you are, technically the first like week of them doesn't even have access to OP15, so it'll be in the last format. But then like a lot of people will still be pretty new to OP15, so some people won't even know how to run their cards, so you could just get lucky off of that. You could get lucky off of people just like generally not practicing. Um, but run your practice. Just do that. Play a bunch of games. Learn how your deck plays into all of the other decks. Sometimes you can tech a couple cards in, but if you're already a favored like deck into a matchup, don't tech for that matchup. Don't be the guy running Arc Maxim in yellow and L to kill off a bunch of one costs. Like you don't need to do it. You're already favored.
yeah. So one thing I thought was a little interesting about this, um, so I was actually expecting Blackbeard to show up somewhere on here, just because of the fact that it's been a lot of hype recently, talking about how Blackbeard is so good into the yellow decks, except for Boa, right? Boa's like the only exception to that rule. But Yellow Luffy, Gecko Moria, and Red Yellow Bonnie, usually Blackbeard could do really well into those three. Um, I was surprised to see no Blackbeard on here. Um,
I mean, I'm not really that surprised. Just because it opposes a couple decks doesn't mean it's going to be like, first off, of the yellow decks that people give a shit about, it's
Nami, I
Boa
forgot
and
about Nami.
Nami. So like, yeah, sure, it does good into those, but how does it do into everything else? Like it does good into Purple and L for sure. It shuts off all of your on plays, but like I don't know how well it does into Lucy. It isn't that great into Ace early game. Ace can just like out tempo your plays. I guess you can like shut your stuff off so they can't Atmos and Jozu you, but Ace is generating a lot more value and it's a 6K leader, which is usually hard for Blackbeard to play into. Um, doesn't Emu slaughter Blackbeard? Isn't that super unfavored for Blackbeard?
Yeah, that's like the one matchup where you're just like, oh gosh.
I think Mihawk probably also dominates Blackbeard just because you're able to keep shit rested every like not many of your effects are on play effects, so like you're not going to generate value off of Law Beppo, but you're still going to generate the value off of like all
Mihawk.
of your stuff is going to be 1k less on your opponent's turn because they're going to have a Shanks out and then they're going to be stunning one of your Jesus Burgess every single turn so you can't swing with it. So like I think and they can just rest your blockers with like DMG. So like I think it does good into some of the meta decks. Obviously it does good into yellow, but yellow can still just luck sack through Teach. I think Teach might also, unless they develop enough Burgess like early, they probably lose into Nami realistically because Nami can just be a 7k leader every turn and Red Rock your Burgesses or sorry, Grav Blade your Burgesses.
Yeah. I'm not like saying like over here. I was kind of surprised more that Crocodile got more games in than Blackbeard. I faced quite a bit of Blackbeard recently in ranked. So
I've seen a decent amount of it as well. I guess, yeah, I'm a little surprised that it's seeing less play than Crocodile, but I don't know. People are on Croc right now. They're feeling it.
yeah, so yeah, what I guess what I was more want to discuss about is so like decks that like what decks are you actively looking for yourself to test and potentially run at your store championships?
I'm probably playing Purple and L or Yellow and L.
You're going the Enel route.
Yeah, it's just like one of the new, better decks. If I'm going to play something from 15, it's probably going to be like an L. I don't really
Interesting.
care that much for Luffy as a character, so I try not to run Luffy decks if I don't have to. If I like the support a lot, I will run it, but you know, if there's a yellow leader that's popular, I'm just going to run the not popular yellow leader that I've ran tens of thousands of games of.
Yeah, it is a little awkward. So like Luffy's in this weird position even with me. Like I love him as a character. He's a great in the show and all that, but the overprinting of using of Luffy in this card game has caused a huge
Fatigue.
fatigue on him. So
Luffy
like
fatigue.
so yeah, I get excited to play peanut butter Luffy. That's just because he's a very fun leader. His leader
Mm-hmm.
ability is just fun. Purple Luffy was fun as well. Um, so like there is quite a bit of Luffy's that I just don't have any ambition to play, like the black Luffy's, the yellow Luffy's, and there's only one blue Luffy, but that doesn't count. But it's like there's just so many of them that they're just like it just kind of makes you not want to play Luffy. Period. Like except for purple black Luffy to me. Um, so like honestly, I think that's the only Luffy leader I own in paper.
I
I
have black, yellow, black, purple, and then starter deck yellow.
oh yeah, I guess I do technically own Star Deck Yellow.
Those are the only like Luffy leaders that I've really played a significant amount of. But even then, I got like pretty bored of Black Yellow Luffy after a couple weeks. Peanut Butter Luffy struggled a lot in previous metas, and Starter Deck Luffy is about to phase out. I just really liked Egghead support. I thought Reject Bonnie was really cool.
So like, are you actually even interested in trying out Red Yellow Bonnie? Like,
I have a homie that's playing Red Yellow Bonnie. It's not really my steez. I'm also not a big like Bonnie person.
I can
Which
see that.
even though it's like just words on cardboard, it's hard for me to separate characters that I like from like cards I want to play. Like the whole reason I played Starter Deck Luffy, uh, the ST29 is because I like Egghead and I like Nico Robin, and you run a lot of Nico Robin and a lot of Egghead in the deck.
Yeah, I know. It's like weird for me. So some of the leaders I for sure like. I've just gained like a love for them even in the TCG and not really in the actual show. Like
Hmm.
Teach is that case. Like I've had a blast playing OP09 Teach, and now I'm excited to play the new OP16 Teach for a very similar reason because the previous leader was just kind of gave me a lot of good times.
That's crazy. So you're like a disgusting control player who doesn't want your opponent to enjoy himself or generate value off of their cards.
Okay,
Says a lot about you.
that says, but there's a lot of sweet way there, man. Like you could say the same argument about green players, like.
Yeah,
They,
I do say the same thing about you know what I always say about Bonnie players? You need to fucking lock them up.
I just yeah, I mean that's valid. I did think it was a little hilarious the past few weeks. Like everyone has seems like they have viewed now Teach as the good guy. I'm just like, what happened? What happened to this community where people are starting to say like, oh my god, I finally get to break out my Teach deck, and people are praising them on Reddit. I'm like, because of Yellow Slop. I'm like, how did we get to the point where Yellow Slop is hated more than Teach?
Anytime yellow gets like a semi-playable card, people get to they're like, yellow, it's so broken, shit color. But like yellow literally only has healing, and it has always only had healing. Like people will say that yellow is no skill because you just luck sack your way to winning. And like sometimes you do luck sack, but sometimes you set that luck up. Also, when you like build your deck based around doing a specific thing, it's not appalling when you do that specific thing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's should the quasar loop be banned? Absolutely. Does it feel terrible getting it triggered against you in a game that you're like about to win as long as they don't trigger play a blocker and heal? For
yeah.
fucking sure. But like comparatively with every other color, like we're on what set 15, brother, 6 sets ago black got a whole leader that shuts off 90% of the cards in the game, like, and we're like, oh, yellow can heal, brother. Yellow's always been able to heal. Play around it. Don't swing. Then don't swing. Build up fucking 5-10 cost characters and swing then. Like every time like we get a generational gap of a color like creating pathways for itself, yellow is ass. Teach completely shut down yellow. Emu shuts down a bunch of yellow. Like yellow is kind of bad into Lucy. Like the only thing that yellow is across the board really good into right now is like purple and L. Like there's other really good matchups obviously, and some decks perform in different ways because they have like cracked leader effects. Like Nami is inherently kind of busted because it's able to become a 7k leader
And
on the
draw.
opponent's turn. Yeah, and draw. It just has a lot of like protection and capabilities of cycling through the deck to see what it needs. So like it has that hand advantage, it has the like power advantage. But like sure, getting luck sacked feels bad, but you're complaining over the least consistent color in the game.
Yeah, I think people are kind of just overdoing the yellow. I do gotta admit it is kind of eye rolly to see them like basically gain 2 life off a Borsalino because they do get to gain the life and they get to block.
Yep.
So like it's basically gain two
It
off one
can
card, but
completely like sway the game in your opponent's favor. Like you can be pushing for lethal. Their last life is a Borsa or a Quasar trigger to heal and then play a blocker, and now you've overextended and you lose on the next turn. But
yeah,
that could happen with like Gum Gum Red Hawk minusing something by 10k power, or uh a Punk Gibson resting a character. Like the any trigger can cause, like, not any trigger, but like there are triggers from every color that can lose you the game on the spot when you're pushing for lethal. Sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. It sucks when you don't, but bitching because a color does what the color does is just silly. Also,
yeah,
like, if you see your opponent Hiyori to swap their life, they probably put the Quasar there. Be prepared. Rip the band-aid off. They only got 4 of those bitches. They're not
yeah.
grabbing Quasar back from the trash.
And when in doubt, just play yellow and play 4 kids in your deck and just make them trash it.
Yeah. Or play like Egghead something and Bonnie their shit to life, or like
Maybe.
run things that punish them when you get it KO'd. Like, there's ways to play around Quasar. It's a super, super annoying card, and there's no way to play around your opponent luck sacking it out of life. But if you get luck sacked, it's not a skill difference. It's just not meant to be. Sometimes, like, things just don't work out. As
Yeah.
shitty as that is to say, sometimes it's just not your time to shine.
Yeah, it's too bad there's not like a interesting purple yellow leader. I could just literally sleeve up those kids and ramp a little bit into a kid and just make you
There's not
trash your
the best purple yellow deck right now is like
Rosie.
barely yellow, also kind of barely purple. And it's so centered around the exact cards that it runs. You can't really do anything else with it. And then Nico Robin is so far behind, even with the support, like the generic Straw Hat support. It's unfortunate. And then like Crocodile just rotates out in
Mm,
3 days, so 2 days.
yeah. And I'm kind of intrigued to see maybe the future, the next few sets. People are already trying to speculate on 17. Um, I don't know about that. People are hoping, really praying for a Rocks leader, but we don't know
I
yet.
don't know if we'll get a Rocks leader, just because we won't be into Elbaf in, or we won't be into like that part of Elbaf in the anime. Or we shouldn't be into that part, since Elbaf anime is split into 2 parts, and like part 2 isn't until October. And they usually do like the new themes are kind of introduced around the same time that they're introduced in the show. Not
Yeah,
like one for one, because obviously, like, set 16 is going to be revisiting Impel Down, and we're not revisiting Impel Down in the story right now. But when we do like Egghead, kind of lined up with when we were doing Egghead, uh, set 1 had Wano stuff in it because we were in Wano at that time. It kind of seems like we're lining up that Egghead or Elbaf is going to happen at the same time, and I don't know if we're going to get like a Rocks leader. We're for sure probably going to get a Loki leader. Loki was like shown in the preview
trailer.
trailer,
Yeah,
not like a card, just like
the character.
animation of Loki was shown, or like Luffy walking up to Loki. So we'll for sure get like a Loki. We might get like Loki leader, I would imagine, but I think we're probably also going to get like God Valley stuff, which will include I guess maybe not. If we don't get God Valley stuff, there's no reason for us to get a Kaido or a Linlin leader. And it did say that we were supposed to be getting like fan favorite leaders. So,
Yeah,
or
I'm
like
not sure.
older leaders that we've had before being reintroduced into the game or whatever.
Yeah, it really depends. Like, I guess some people in the Roger Discord are all excited. Maybe we'll get a Gavin leader because I think supposedly Gavin's big
I
on the storyline there. I don't know.
Yeah, Gabon's in Elbaf. He is like a main character in the Elbaf arc. Sure, maybe we get one. That could be a choice. I would like to see like Loki, Kaido, Linlin, uh Gunko would maybe be. I don't even know if you know who Gunko is. Um I don't even know the other two leaders that Frankie would be cool. Frankie's actually kind of getting a power up in the show right now, or in the manga right now. So it'd be cool if maybe we got a Frankie leader finally. And then York. Not York. Lilith. That'd be cool. That'd be like my 6 characters. But you could also sub Lilith out for rocks. That would be fine. But Kaido, Linlin. Oh, sorry, no. It would probably be Kaido, Linlin, Newgate, Loki, Rocks, and Frankie would be like my 6 leaders that I would want in 17, as long as we also get God Valley stuff.
Yeah, I know at some point you mentioned that maybe we'll be even get Garp has, I guess, supposedly a big one.
Yeah, we could get a new GARP leader as well because GARP is really, really big in God Valley. But again, some of these really play on us specifically getting uh God Valley.
Yeah, it just depends on which time frame they're looking at. Like the
Yep.
old, back when Garp versus Rocks versus um
Well, it just
Roger.
depends on how much of Elbaf they're like covering in the set is really what it depends on.
Yeah, so I'm kind of intrigued to see how that pans out. I mean, I think Loki would, even if he was a leader, he's gonna get a lot of hype. So
Yeah,
like,
for
and
sure. I
you know they're gonna go baller with it because it is the anniversary set. So
Yeah.
I imagine they're gonna pick leaders that people are gonna be really hyped for.
I know people who have been talking about a Loki leader since Loki was like revealed in the anime or in the manga, for sure.
I've been waiting for a freaking giant leader for quite some time. Like back when they were fighting on what island was that?
Little Garden.
Little Garden. Yep. I'm like, what? Why haven't we hit? Why haven't we gotten a Giants leader since then? I don't
We
know.
could get like Dory Bragi as leaders. That's a theoretical possibility.
It should have been a
Like
starter deck by now.
a two. I have an acquaintance. I won't necessarily call him a buddy. I have an acquaintance. We don't really like interact very often, but he loves Dory Bragi. He's like mad that we don't even have character cards for them yet. So he was stoked when it got announced that we were going to Elbaf.
Yeah, I think that was a little weird that we have never gotten a character card for them. Period. Like,
A
why?
little bit. It is a little strange for sure.
Like the only giant we've really had was just the Blackbeard giant that
No,
I'm
we have
aware of.
Saul as well.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah,
Jaguar.
for Nico
And then
Robbins story. Yeah.
we have like Ors as
Oh yeah.
well. And Ors Jr. But they I think we have an Oimo and Kashi too. And they're technically giants from like Innis Lobby, but still the sentiment is still very much true that like we don't have good giant representation at the moment.
Yeah. It's actually was one of my favorite tribes in Magic the Gathering was giants. So I would love to have actually be able to play a giant tribal pirate tribal deck in this TCG too. That'd be kind of fun.
I mean, I don't know if you're gonna get like
A competitive one.
well, no, I don't know if you're just going to have a giant tribal deck. Like, I don't think there's going to be enough cards to just play giants, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you know, like half of them are going to be Straw Hats.
Yeah,
So
no, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. Like, we're gonna get us. We might get a leader that's Dory Broggy, and then like all of the support is gonna have like maybe 6 giants. Oh, actually, we have Haruden as well. He's a giant technically. I'm not. It's not even technically. He is a giant, and we do have Haruden cards, but still.
yeah, it's like it makes sense. They put just be a bunch of like Usopps. I'm actually surprised we don't get much Usopp cards as much as the other Straw Hats. That was actually thinking about that because when I was testing the Black Purple Luffy, um, I was like, I wish this Nami was a freaking Usopp searcher, like, because then he could actually get Nami. But then it
Yeah,
just
it's
dawned on me like,
unfortunate that purple Luffy or purple Nami can't grab Nami. That really sucks for the deck.
yeah, so it had me thinking like, why don't we get a lot of Usopps? Like he's usually like the vanilla 5-drop 6,000 2K counter.
I
Um,
mean, except he's arguably one of the best cards in the black purple deck already.
Usohachi, yeah.
Yeah. Which, like, don't get me wrong, Usohachi's a little like not necessarily outdated, but power creep is a son of a bitch. Um he's still one of the best cards in the deck. He's definitely one of the best 2K counters in the game still.
Yeah, he has that, but like I'm actually surprised like there's not like ever a Usopp searcher. Like why isn't he never a searcher?
That is kind of a good question. I think it's because they make other cards powerful and they don't want you being able to search them specifically. Like they didn't want you searching Nami off of Nami.
So
And Nami is most generically the searcher for the Straw Hats.
so your argument is that Usopp is such an unplayable character, except for when he has a different name, Usohachi, and you know Usopp can find Usohachi. That you should definitely ignore that.
I'm
That
saying that
that's
Usopp is the weakest character in the Straw Hats, and he's probably going to be the most underwhelming card for Straw Hats. Yes,
yes,
that is what I'm
that's
saying.
valid. That is valid. I mean, it also would flavor wise would make the most sense because he would just try to find somebody else to hide behind. So it would make sense for him to be the searcher because he's just trying to hide behind that person. So
Like, I will agree, it is weird that we don't get more cards of certain characters, but I'm not expecting like a fucking 10 cost Usopp. If we
no,
got like a 10 cost Usopp, I would imagine it to be similar to Buggy. The like 10 cost Buggy that like you have to fulfill crazy requirements, otherwise it bottom decks itself. Or it would be like a 10 cost 4K power blocker or some shit like that.
basically like a Uda.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like an Uda.
it just gets cheaper. Yeah, like that makes a lot of sense. I mean,
Or
technically,
like if you have only 8 cost or higher Straw Hats on the board, you buff its power, something like that. But yeah, I don't expect much out of Usopp for cards.
it just dawned on me like when I was thinking about it today, like why don't we have a lot of him? Period. Like he's not common. Like any sort of does he even have a secret rare? Like a super rare or a super rare
He
at all?
has technically Usopp does not have a secret rare, but there are a lot of Straw Hats that don't have secret rares.
I was
He
thinking
does have a super rare though.
he does.
From OP03. It's for Blue Nami. It's 4/5 Dawn X1. It gains rush. No, sorry, it has rush always. Dawn X1. If it does damage, it mills
Meal
7
7.
cards.
Yeah. I guess
And then
a lot of the Usops have historically the good ones have been blue. You're not wrong, because the other one is like I think it's like a 4 drop. He cheats down another vanilla.
yeah, it cheats out like a 6k power vanilla if you
Hmm.
don't have too many like 5,000 power characters or something like that. Or if you don't have two or more 5,000 power characters, it cheats out a vanilla. It was like meant for blue green Sanji, but
Yeah, so I guess we got down that tangent hole. So back to prepping. We kind of went down a giant turn, but
I
that's okay.
mean, we were kind of done with there's not really play a bunch of games. That's all you can really do to practice. Like watch as many games as you can handle on YouTube of people covering good matchup spreads. Play as many matches as you can to get your own like basis of information. That's all you can do. Literally all you can do to prepare for an event that you have to play cards is play cards. Understand how your deck works. There's nothing you can do to like prepare to win your dice rolls or to prepare to draw the perfect starter. You just have to learn how to operate your deck. And the only way you're going to do that is by immersing yourself in games. So it's like there's unfortunately not a lot to like in the broad sense really prepare to get ready for like an event. The preparing is getting ready. Like you just play. That is the preparation.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would say the most like the first step, of course, always is picking the deck, and I was more when getting into like my discussion was more about like what deck should you look for based on these matchup spreads
But
to
like
pick.
even that comes down so much to like sure, in general, probably any of the 10 leaders on the list. Any of those you'll probably see, and any of them, if you practice enough, can probably like do good at a store championship. But realistically, pick one that fits your play style. Like, don't try to jam shit on something that you don't enjoy because you're maybe gonna do worse. Just pick something that you like to play that's somewhat relevant to the meta, and then just play the game. Like you don't have to jam. You don't have to be like, oh, this event's coming up, so I have to jump on a new deck. Just
Well,
play what you're good with already.
I'm not necessarily saying that you have to jump on a new deck
I'm not
because
saying you are. I'm just saying in general, like just find something that meshes well with your play style. Like you don't have to search between 15 decks. If you've played a TCG in the past, you probably know the style deck that you like to play. So find the style, find a control deck, find an aggro deck, find a stall deck, find something similar. If not, test a handful of things. Just play a couple different colored decks and see what like is easy for you to pick up naturally and then like what you can practice with. That's all there really is. Just find what you enjoy and play it until you can't.
well, the other thing I was more like wanting to get I was more wanting to talk about was more of so are you basically looking for like a deck list that would have at least two good matchups against the top four decks, which arguably is you're going to see the most of is Lucy, Enel, Nami, and Ace. Like, are you basically that's one of the requirements you would have to pick your deck is to see, okay, well, Dofi has it's actually barely slightly favored into
No,
PNL and
that's
into
not that's not something like hopefully, sure, but like people picking crocodile aren't picking crocodile because it's apparently showing great into the top four decks. Like it comes down to more than just like I'm gonna play whatever I feel comfortable with, whatever I have practiced with, and whatever I feel I can personally do well with. I've been playing since mid set two, so it's pretty easy for me to pick out a deck and know what play style I like and to like set in and really practice that specific style. Like that's easy for me. Um, as a new player, just test a couple of different things. Test every color that's like got a relevant leader. Go to like gumgum.gg and just pull a grip of deck lists and just find whatever like suits your play style. In a store championship, like honestly, the crazy thing is in any event, you can just luck sack your way into winning. Like technically, like everything can just line up. You can catch good matchups the whole time. You can open perfect hands the whole time, and you can just go undefeated. And like if at max you're going to like what a 64 person store championship, that's like barely bigger than a locals. My locals are 5 to 6 rounds already. That's like 6 to 7 rounds. You just got to play good for 7 rounds. That's like not that hard to do.
Fair enough.
Even like what you said, you went to a pre-release and it was like 3 rounds. A store championship's just 2 of those. Just win 3 games twice and you got an invite.
Fair enough. I was just more of like so you actually like the play style of Purple and Now?
I mean, yeah, it's aggro and it does some like cool things. I like that you can swing 15 and then swing 16 if you have the blocker Enel, or you can go if you have like 2 of the 6 cost Enels on field and one of them's the blocker, you can go like uh 10, 11, 15. I think the deck is basically just an aggro deck. Like, yeah, it's fun. It's an enjoyable deck. I think a lot of the leaders from 15 are really enjoyable.
Okay,
I
fine.
just think some of them are a little bit less consistent.
Fair. I just wasn't sure if you were picking P and L because of its matchup spread and it was
No,
fun, or if it was for other reasons. That's more what I
no,
was
dog.
getting at.
I personally don't give a shit about the meta. I make the meta. Like, I'm gonna play whatever I feel like performs well for me. It's either gonna be purple and L, which happens to be meta relevant, or it's going to be yellow and L because I've played thousands of games of yellow and L. I'm very comfortable with it, and I think it can probably also perform well. Like I don't necessarily pick my leaders, but like I almost never play the top meta deck. Like I hate mirror matches. I don't think they're super fun. I don't think they're very skill oriented. I try to avoid them. I usually play like I don't know. If everyone's on like an A tier deck, I'm maybe on like a low B tier deck. And that's just more fun for me.
Fair. I mean, definitely if I wanted to play like I could play Ace, but I just feel like I would be bored of it like after a few rounds
I
and I just can't do it.
I played Ace all through 13 and it was the worst experience that I had in the entire game. Like in the entire time I've been playing the game, it was the least amount of fun that I've ever had in a format.
Yeah.
Hated the leader. Well, like I liked the leader, I liked the character, just didn't really like the way the deck played and didn't really like the format that we were in.
Oh yeah, that was during the emu.
Mm-hmm.
Ace in that phase. So
Yeah.
like yeah, that definitely was like the worst meta I've ever been part of. So I could understand why you hated it. Like so like I'm like in a very weird spot, right? Like I know I love purple, right? I just don't really care for Nails purple. But at the same time I'm like there's other leaders I also really enjoy. Like I don't mind playing Sabo. Like Sabo's a fun leader in my opinion. Um but like I just don't like for one he's not on here so I don't know his matchup spread to even know if it's worth investing time and effort into it. But like Gecko Moria is okay. I'm just not like a huge Gecko Moria Black Yellow fan. I know I could do well with him, and his matchup spread is pretty solid down here. But again, I just don't really know if I can get behind it. So like I was looking at Roger, but Roger, of course, basically it's a buy for P and L, right? Like if I face Purple and L, it's basically they just got the win and just move on. Um,
How many games have you personally played of Roger into Purple and
it might have only been one. I think I lost. Um,
It's a pretty small sample. And this is like what I mean. You're just basing it off of like the numbers that are on the computer, like for the week that has just happened. But
Yeah,
just
that's
because
true.
it says it's a 25% win rate into purple and now doesn't mean that that's true. People could have just not figured out how to play into the deck. Like realistically, once you start being like a 7K leader, they have to have the small bodies or the big bodies established.
Yeah, I mean that is true, but it is does that based on the statistic. It shows it seems like it's more consistent that they do have them based off
I
of it.
mean,
But
yes, every card in the deck outside of like 10 draw
draw,
you
yeah,
another card. So, yes, you should see your big bodies. But like we've played a game where I didn't see any of my NLs until you were lethaling me and they were in my life.
yeah,
Like given that's not the norm, like that's not the statistical normal, but like I don't know, being a 9K leader's pretty fucking strong still.
it is for sure. Um, I'm still trying to play around with what my exact 50 would be for the deck. Right now I'm trying to next I'm going to be testing this week. I'm cutting the 10 drop shanks. Um,
Entirely
mhm.
crazy.
And I'm going to try if I run 4 of the Rayleigh instead.
Mm. I've been seeing people run the 10 cost Roger, the purple one.
Oh yeah, I mean I tried that one too. But my issue
It's
with it,
like not a bad card.
it's not a bad card, but my issue with it is like it does turn off your Zoros, but at the same time like
It
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 does
doesn't.
if you play the Zoro first, yeah, then it won't. But if you play 10 drop Roger purple one, it will turn it off later. But you don't get the plus
I'll
2K, but
believe you on that.
it negates all abilities from non Roger pirates. So I mean that it's like
Yeah,
an
yeah,
issue.
yeah. I couldn't remember if the effect was a static effect or if it was just part of the on play.
Yeah, static. So I give or now I'm gonna try to see if I can't win with 4 Zoros, 4 of the Silver's Rayleigh, and kind of that's like my top end, and then play 4 of the basically Radical Beam events, and see how that pans out. Maybe I might like it.
What radical beam event?
The one that's it's like time for a counter attack. Oh,
You have to strike while you're still alive or whatever. Isn't that a guard point?
no, I'm talking about the Trafalgar Law event from
Oh, the
OP14.
one where if there's an 8K
Okay,
on
yep,
the field. Gotcha.
yeah. So I'm gonna try to see how that pans out. Of course, the downside is, I mean, you don't have Shanks for a little bit of a mid-range beater, but at the same time, like every time I never felt like I was in a good position to where I could counter if I play the 10 drop Shanks. It just exposes all your Dawn down, and then you're basically left there with a 7K lead. And oftentimes your opponent could just win that turn. So, like, to me, he's felt kind of underwhelming lately with the go wide decks.
Greatly disagree in my experience, but I haven't played Roger since is like pretty new.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I need to do this week. I'm gonna do a lot of testing. I'm not even gonna play Magic this week. I'm gonna be straight up prepping with Roger, Purple, Black, Luffy, and Doflamingo. I think Doflamingo might be my better choice. Um,
I think Doflamingo has like a good chance in 15. I think it's a little mediocre in 14 or like 14.5, the meta that we're in right now. I
yeah,
don't think Dofi's that great. Like it's fine. I just don't think it's insane. I think it gets a lot better in the next set because it plays better into the matchup spread.
yeah, and it being pretty. I mean, as long as you know how to pilot the deck, which was gonna come with, of course, my prepping. As long as I know how to pilot into PNL, seems like it should be a pretty good, decent time. So I'm hoping that's
which
how that pans
yeah,
out.
really just comes down to like playing the matchup because like you can be favored into a matchup but have not
Played
practiced
it,
it
yeah,
and
and you just
then
lose.
lose entirely. Like there have been times where I've played like yellow and L into I don't even emu, and the person will be like, oh, I've never like practiced this matchup before, and I'm like, oh, I've practiced this matchup 500 times. So it's like I'm at the advantage there because I just understand how the interactions work a little bit better.
Yeah, and I definitely I'm kind of excited to see how it pans out because I think 10 drop Dofi is really good in this meta. Like,
Yeah, it is. It does really good into both Lucy and honestly, it does good into Lucy and Nell and Nami because Nami's not really running anything higher than 8 cost these days.
oh, you mean 7 for the can't rest them. Um,
Well, yeah, 7 for the can't rest and then just removal of Nami's top end. So like you're either freezing out their Nico Robbins, which is the most annoying card that they run in the deck, or you're popping their 8 cost kid. So
yeah, that is a nice. That would be a very nice target.
either either effect is generating you value
Yeah, because
in it.
you definitely don't want to have them sit there and keep looting every single turn and to the point they get their answers they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be bad. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
So like realistically, that's probably why Dofi is showing back up, and that's for sure why people are cutting to like more run 4 copies of the 10 cost Dofi, because it is probably pretty good into 3 of the best decks in the meta, or 3 of the expected best decks in the meta.
Yeah, and I do understand like these percentages are not 100% cut dry, cut and dry, right? Because I know Sakura was talking about basically from his experience, Dofi is really good into Ace, especially if you go first with as Dofi, which is weird, and you're basically always going to get first. So he like kind of showcase how to beat Ace, always going first. Um, so like
It can be and it should be favored, but you know,
yeah, I mean
it didn't win Nats in February. It didn't win the finals.
yeah, maybe it just all comes down to the Dofi player didn't test enough against Ace.
I mean, I highly doubt that, but I'm pretty sure he lost to an ace player at Worlds as well. Sometimes it's just not your day, you know.
Yeah,
Some
sometimes you get the wrong draws.
sometimes it's not your day.
So we do have a little bit of spoilers we could talk about from the new set. So we did get some stuff from
We got like three
Yamato.
cards, right?
Yeah.
2 or 3 cards. The Nami searcher, which just another Nami searcher.
Yes.
Woo.
It is.
Um, finds Yulan of Wano, puts the
Mm-hmm.
rest in trash.
Which
That's
is not
pretty
bad.
cool.
It's not bad for
No,
the
it
top four.
sets up. It's literally just another black searcher that sets up your trash for whatever black shenanigans you're trying to do. This deck seems to be trying to revive stuff from the garbage, so this puts stuff there.
Yeah, 3 cards in trash. It's pretty good. And I thought it was funny because as soon as this card was spoiled in the purple black Luffy Discord, they were talking like, I wonder if that means we're gonna get a bunch of Lana Wano straw hats. I'm just like, really? You guys are
I mean, probably, but I don't know how it would be better than just running what we got from 15.
oh
Like
yeah,
that Black Nami is so good for the deck.
she is. She's really good for the deck. But it's more of like I guess like if you can get enough good Lana Wano straw hat searchers or Lana Wano straw hats, you could also mix and match them to where you can fill your trash up pretty good for the chopper to get back the
Yeah,
Nami.
but
But
then you're also like whiffing off of like not finding them because you have to mix archetypes, and you're gonna have Straw Hats that are not searchable off of this Nami, and then the same issue that you're gonna have with Chopper, you're going to dump your Gum Gum Giants, and you're not gonna be able to get them back.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the worst parts about. That's like the only bad part about Chopper is like he just doesn't get back events.
Yeah, if you could grab events, it would be insane.
He'd be really good. But I think the better card of today is this new
Fucking
Alvaro
Kizaru.
Pizarro, right?
This card is so good. The only thing that like would have made this better is if you could just trash the stage off of leader effect. That's literally the only thing that would have made this better.
Yeah, imagine that. Like, so if just getting this off a trigger and just drawing a card and playing a full lead.
Would be crazy.
It's like why? Like why is this a thing?
You know it's full of lead, right?
Full lead,
Because
yes.
it's Pirate Island and it's full of gun shells.
Full lead, yes. And the
Sorry.
other
Funny little
you're not wrong. And then we got
like knowledge.
We got our other searcher.
Oh, didn't we get a Kobe?
Yep, and it's on the screen. So look top 5 for a Navy, other than Kobe. Put it in your hand. So I am kind of we're gonna have to wait and see how this pans out, but I am actually worried about how playable this deck is going to be.
Why?
It's just like I guess blocker. I mean, none of these actually seem that exciting to me. Can activate blocker, so like powerhouse wise, they're 3 AKs.
No. First off, scroll over Kuzan.
He prevents blockers, yeah.
He prevents a blocker,
yeah.
But it's an active main once per turn. You can do this every single turn.
Yeah.
Scroll over Kizaru.
Oh, Porcelino, you mean?
Porcelino. This one, mediocre. Who cares?
Yeah.
Except you can don -2 to make him a blocker.
Yep.
That's pretty strong.
Tucson.
That's a 7/8 blocker. Scroll over Sakazuki.
He minus the 6K power.
That's on play.
Yeah, but his activated ability is just kind of getting Dawn back. Kind of like
which is good for activating your other effects. Like the fact that you're playing out 3 8K bodies in one turn is the overwhelming aspect of it.
Yeah, but I feel like most of the time you're just going to end up playing 2 of them. Because you're not going to probably have all 3 in your hand at all times.
Depends on how many searchers they give the deck. They've given a lot of decks 12 searchers recently.
I mean, they could definitely give them a like a purple stage where they also search, but
could get a stage, could get an event card, could just get a second character that searches. That's like a 4/5. They're also like probably going like the fact that the deck is based around playing out admirals specifically. They're going to want you to find the admirals. Like, look at the fucking Rosinante deck. How many searchers does that shit have?
Off the top of my head, I can only think of 2. I could be wrong.
Well, they're running like Sugar now too.
Sugar, yeah.
They were also like, you could technically run the When We're at Sea, You Fight Pirates event. You run Sugar, you run Trafalgar Law, you run Rosinante. They have access to 16 searchers.
Valid.
And like that off the rip. So like when Rosinante came out, we already had When You're at Sea. So like they on release had access to 12 searchers to find Trafalgar Law. So like we're probably gonna maybe get lower end versions of the Kuzan, Borsalino, Sakazuki, like maybe 5 cost as well. I doubt it's just gonna be like, oh, hopefully you find these 12 cards.
Yeah,
I think they'll probably give it good support.
but I also can't remember. I don't know if Black like even back on Blackbeard, I don't think they had all the searchers in one set. That's why I was like,
Yes,
I
they
would.
did.
They did. They gave full lead,
Yes, full of lead,
full lead,
um,
Lafitte.
Lafitte and
The
the
event.
My Era were all from the same set.
Okay, I wasn't sure. 'Cause I know they divided his stuff out between two sets. I thought I
He
wasn't sure.
got he got a 5 cost Burgess in set 10. That's the only like legacy support he got before the starter deck.
Okay, I couldn't remember off the top of my head if they were from the same set or if they were because I thought it was like two sets, like 8 and 9 had
No.
Blackbeard support.
I think set 7 had a black counter event called A Man's Dream Never Dies. And that was technically our first Blackbeard type card. But no, Blackbeard as a leader was introduced in 9. He got all of his good support in 9. And then in 10, he got a 5 cost Jesus Burgess that had Rush. Kind of had Rush. Oh, he got Kuzan in 10 as well.
Yeah, his best card in the entire deck.
Second best card in the entire deck, but yes.
That depends on who you talk to.
The 10 cost
Teach.
Teach is the best card in the deck.
I mean,
It might not be the best card
arguably.
in the deck for the format, but no, it's not arguable. The fact that it shuts off your opponent's leader effect, shuts off a character effect, and then makes it where that character can't attack the next turn, and it's a 10-12.
I get all that. I mean, yeah, I get all that. I play the deck quite a bit. But historically, like you will cut down on 10-drop teaches. You'll never
And
ever go lower than 4. If you go lower than 4 Kuzans, you're basically
historically, you're running a bad list if you run less
it
than
depended on the
40.
meta. Like when it was hyper aggressive, they went down to 2. And it was
Yeah, you know how much that shored up the matchup for like its worst matchups? That took a Nell from being like a 30% win into Blackbeard to being like 47%.
yeah. So basically, they trimmed it down for like 2 of the 7 drops to control the board better. So and then they also did Laboon as the other remaining slots that would be for him. So like I don't know, like they have cut it down to 2, but they never cut the card completely. So I mean it is arguably top 3 best cards in the deck for sure. And then we have this weird for some reason we're getting these still 2-drop 2000 1K blocker. I'm like, hasn't this been power corrupt?
I don't understand this either. The fact that it doesn't have another effect on it is weird. It'll probably be good and buggy. That's cool.
Yeah, because you
Like
can block with it and get down to 6-drop.
that's about it. No, because it's only by card effect. Like the card has to be removed by an effect.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
okay.
no, never mind. This effect can be activated when an impel down character is removed from the field. So yeah, you
Yeah,
can just
you can
block
block and then
and
you get a
then
6-drop.
yeah, that's not terrible. That's pretty good for Buggy specifically. I think it's probably mediocre for Luffy, but
Mm-hmm.
it is still weird that we got a 2/2 blocker.
And then we have a 2-1 blocker of 1K. When this character is to be KO'd by your opponent's effect, you may rest one of your opponent's characters.
Like realistically, this should have probably been a 2/2. Like we're at a point with power creep where Inazuma could have been a 2/2 with the same effect.
Mm-hmm. Or
And it
been
wouldn't have broken the game at all.
or even this one as a would this be broken if it was a 2K counter?
The Ivankov, I don't think so. I think it could be like I think maybe make it like a 4-2 if it's a 2K counter, or a 3-2. But then, like, maybe still like, if it's just how it is right now, it could probably be a 2-2-2. Like, it could be a 2 cost, 2K power, 2K counter.
Yeah, in today's
Because, like, we have the Nico Robin blocker from ST29 that's 4 cost, 2K power, but it has the trigger to play itself. So, like, you're adding that additional trigger that plays it for free if you have a Luffy leader, whereas Ivankov would not have a trigger to play itself. So yeah, you could totally have this as a 2K counter, and it wouldn't be busted for the deck,
honestly,
in my
this probably
opinion.
would be more realistic. What if it triggered to play itself?
If it triggered, you'd have to keep it at the same stat line, but I'd be fine with it being a 2-2, 1K counter that played itself off of trigger.
That's what I was thinking. Like that's probably a more fair balance one instead of the plus 2K.
Make it where it can only play itself out off of, like, if your leader's impel down. They're
Yeah.
kind of selective on blockers that can be played out of life. We don't have that many, but we do have them. They do exist.
Yeah, so we have, of course, this one, and the last card that's new is Izu. Like, so you may reveal one character with 8,000 power
Oh,
from your hand and draw a card. It's not even a searcher. I don't know why.
this card is ass.
It is
This
absolutely.
card is ass. It's something to do on one, but you're gonna want to do something else on one. I absolutely hope this is not the best one cost that you have.
Yeah, so it kind of like goes hand in hand with the support from. No, I guess it's not even hand in hand because it's 6K. So it's not even like working with the
Yeah,
AC Luffy leader.
I feel like you probably just want the searcher from the Ace Luffy deck over this, or you just run like Straw Hats maybe. I don't know. It kind of sucks because Red Ezo rotates out on the
Mm-hmm.
first. So you don't have like a good one cost red Whitebeard searcher anymore. But we also don't have that many good red Whitebeard cards anymore after the first. Like, the ones that we have will come from the starter deck and 16. So we'll have to see. Maybe we get a new Whitebeard searcher.
I am kind of curious how this actually is going to pan out for support for this leader. I wonder if they're going to give us like a 4 drop 8,000 that gets minus 3K until some sort of clause is met.
Why? What gives you the indication that that would be a thing?
Well, how
Just
else?
because it would
How
be searchable off of Ezo?
it's not. You're not really searching it. This is just draw. You have to reveal.
Or to reveal off
Yeah,
of
yeah. Like
Ezo?
how
And
you can
then
have so many AKs in your deck to reveal for all these effects unless there's some sort of 4 drop that has an AK that has a downside until he reaches it. Kind of approach.
or you just have a deck that's heavily based around 6 and 7 cost characters with or without effects.
Yeah, you just have
They don't
vanilla two
have to
Ks,
be
AKs. Mm-hmm.
power crap. No, like, just like Vista doesn't have counter, so he's a 6 cost 8K. But if he did have counter, he would be like a 6-7 or like a 7-8. Like, it's a very common stat line for something to be like 6-8 or 7-8. Or like, I don't think they're going to make a 4 cost that's an 8K power. That's insane power creep. Maybe a 5 cost that's an 8K.
Yeah,
Because,
so
like, so far we don't have things that generate. Usually the formula is cost times 1,000 plus 2. Um or like cost times 1,000 plus 1,000 if it has counter, like
yeah,
for effect cards. But we do have some cards that are like 3 cost, but under a certain condition they're like a 6K power, like Bobby Funk from OP15. If you have a Dressrosa type leader, he's a 6K, so he's a 3/6. So I could potentially see something being like a 5/8 under certain conditions, sure.
Well,
A
so
4/8 though, I don't expect.
yeah, so how I would view it as something like Roger, right? Where it's in your hand, it's a 4/8 when you play it, unless you have if you, like basically like if you have one or less life, then it gets the full power instead of it
It's
being
still
being
way too strong, dude.
instead
That
of being
is
reduced down to a
that is
5.
breaking the game in like terms of mechanical power. I could see it being maybe like a 5/8 with that sort of effect. I just don't see it being a 4/8. That's generating so much extra value for the cost. Like imagine if Pudding also said, "Oh, if you're at 1 life, it's an 8K power and you just get to play it out for 4." That generates so much power, and then you just like, sure, you let them knock you down to 1 life, and then apparently this deck is based around 8K plus power characters, so you just run the Rad Beam, the Trafalgar Law Rad Beam. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that would be insane. That would be very, very powerful. I think we could just get a mix of cards. Some of them will be 8K power, but as long as we have 12 to 16 cards in the deck that have 8K power, you could technically run this. But this is only an uncommon and it's a 1 cost. So it's like
Yeah.
a super optional card. I don't think the deck is going to hinge on playing
No,
this.
I'm not even thinking about it for ESA. I'm thinking like in Newgate you have to reveal 2, and Vista you have to reveal 1. So it's like all these cards seem like they're gonna have to reveal 1 or 2 of them. So I don't even know if you can get away with just having 3 play sets like you have of these 3. Like, is that even gonna would that even be enough? That's 12 copies of
Like I
8Ks.
said, 12 to 16 is probably an optimal number. And then just cards that find them as well. The fact that it's 8K power specifically kind of sucks, but
Yeah, yeah.
is what it is.
I don't understand why it's not 8K. Yeah, this got some before. I don't get why it's not 8K or more. Like
Me either. The fact that you can't reveal like
a Newgate.
like you can't reveal 2 new gates off of Newgate to drop something by 6K is so dumb. But yes, it does mean that the deck is probably going to be based around 8K power characters. I just don't anticipate them being 4 cost 8K power.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like I was thinking like could they do something like that where it has for such a reduced power when it comes down until some sort of effect is met? Kind of like Roger,
It
like it's a 5K
it
until you get
would,
10 on.
but like even Roger ramps. His whole game plan is to get you to 7 before your opponent hits 10 Dawn. So like it's barely a restriction. It was a restriction like earlier formats where he was like kind of more inconsistent. But the more we get cards that just bump him to 7, like now on 8 you just play the Zorro, and then on 10 you play the Roger, and now you're a 9K leader. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like I get the point that you're coming from, where like like conflicted about how the deck's going to function when it has to be based around 8K characters, and like how they're going to make that playable.
yeah. I mean, even the leader requires it. It has to be Luffy or AK or
Well,
higher. So it's like,
thankfully it's 8K or higher,
yeah,
but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, dog. We will just have to wait and see. I think mechanically it would be kind of busted to have uh, a 4/8 though. Just in general, I think that's kind of insane.
yeah. I would. I don't know how you would have to balance it. It's like it would have to be like both of you down to no cards in hand, and then it's an AK or no life total or something. I don't know.
It
Um,
can't attack. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's like It can't attack, but it's a blocker or something like that. But even like then, a 4/8 blocker is insane.
Yeah, it's to be something like buggy, right? Yeah. I mean, or maybe maybe they do make a buggy for this, like should look or buggy, make a one that cheats down another body that attacks. It's another AK. Maybe that works. I don't know. That's it for today. They didn't have much spoilers this week. I've been.
No, we didn't.
It's kind of
Like
sad
three
because
cards.
yeah, it's kind of sad because I wanted to see more what the set's actually gonna look like and like how these creatures are gonna operate. I'm kind of curious to see if later down the line. I wonder if one is Togoku's would be really playable, or even one of the best purple decks in the format, or is it gonna be like one of those cases where he's gonna need to wait one set for maybe potentially a Garp leader that's also purple that gives him a little bit extra support. Um, I don't know. Kind of intrigued.
I mean, pretty much every leader right now is going to depend on the support that it gets. Like, we don't have enough support for any of them right now to be like, oh, this is going to be absolutely cracked. Like, even Yamato, who can just give aggression to a character that's played that turn, unless we get good cards that bring stuff back from trash, it's going to be a bad leader. Or like Teach looks absolutely cracked right now, but if we don't get a bunch more, like if Wolf, Pizarro, and Shiryu are the only good yellow cards, then we're fucked. You know what I mean? So like it's really just way too early to be like, oh, this deck is going to be unplayable, or this deck is going to be insane, because we've only seen 3 cards for each deck so far, 4 cards for each deck so far.
You're not wrong. I mean, people have already kind of high on this lead on Tish because of the fact that we have the black Tish support
Yeah,
already.
we have good
So
black
we know that
legacy.
that's potentially, even if they flop, but you need enough yellow ones to have good triggers. That's about it to get his ability to go off. But
Yes.
we know we have enough black support to make him a playable deck regardless. It's just,
Yes.
but everyone else, yeah, they're all kind of new in their own respective colors. Like we haven't
Well,
really had purple navy. We haven't.
the thing with Teach, just to like touch back on that, we have to get good yellow Blackbeard cards because he can only redirect into Blackbeard characters. And every time you're redirecting, you're losing 2 cards. You're losing the card you like trash out of hand, and you're losing the like essentially blocker that you're like swinging it into. So if these are the only 3 good yellow cards that we get, we're not like super up. We need more cards that draw you cards on KO. Like both of these do, or like Pizarro does at least. And then I
Wolf
think
does too.
Shiryu actually negs you a card.
He doesn't have an on KO.
Yeah, his trigger draws you 2, but his on play negs you a card.
Yeah,
Um,
but
but it
most on
negs you a card
KOs.
to heal. Technically, off of like Shiryu, you could pitch a Blackbeard card and then put the Blackbeard card into your life. So that's like kind of cool. But like, unless we get more stuff that also gives you more hand advantage, you're not going to have a good way to fill up the trash for Jesus Burgess, the black one. And you're going to run out of cards in hand because you have to use them for leader effect. So like we need more yellow support to really round out the deck, even though it does have good black support already.
Yeah, and it definitely you could definitely see it firsthand where it's basically this going to be a leader that has a lot of kind of looting effects, kind of like a Kuzan, where a lot of their on KOs are replacing themselves, but he
Yeah,
still went down one on board to basically loot, right? Because you discard
pretty
one
much.
to redirect attack, right? You discard one, you draw it back, but you also lose something on board. So like it
Yep.
is tech still a -1, I think.
Yeah,
So
no, it is. And like unfortunately it's a -1 in the biggest spot where you don't want to -1. Like, I would way rather lose one card out of hand than one card off of field, even if the card off of field is just a 2k power. That is still technically a body that can apply pressure.
Yeah, it definitely has way more downside than Dofi has in his
Yeah,
respect.
because Dofi is just like, oh, you minus a Dawn, and then like, hey, you're probably just gonna get that Dawn back off of whatever effect you use from the character that was KO'd.
Yeah, you're not really discarding a card either, so
Mm-hmm.
you just
But
kind of
like you do have the synergy every time you use leader effect, you're putting 2 cards in trash for your Jesus Burgess. So
that is true. Also helps your Kuzan, so you have more targets to bring back.
yes,
And it
yes,
replaces
correct.
itself. So in that regard, it does a pretty good job. So I think that's all we have to talk about today. We'll have to, of course, just discuss this week about what we're going to talk about next week, unless all of a sudden they go ham on spoilers next week. We'll have to do something. We'll have to find some other kind of topic to talk about. If you have any suggestions at all, let us know in the comment section. What leader are you guys interested in trying to play for your guys' Sword Championships? Let us know in the comment section. Engage. It really helps with the algorithm, so more people could see this podcast. And closing. So, any kind of shout outs you want to make? Schedule and all that.
I stream every day. I post multiple times a week. Join my stream, watch my videos. I got this Robin statue the other day. I'm gonna shout out my homie Brian for selling it to me. It's a Tontata Robin. It's pretty cool. But no, other than that, I got nothing. Come watch me on Twitch. Watch my YouTube videos. I'm ending my giveaway on probably Wednesday. There's only like 3 people that have entered, so
Yeah, join us, subscribe, post a comment on the. Is it on that one particular video? No, it's any
nah,
video.
you just post a comment anywhere on one of the videos that I've posted and then take a screenshot and share it in the giveaway section on Discord.
Yeah,
Pretty easy.
and if you want to come and actually check us both out tomorrow, you can. The goal is we're going to be playing Bell Luffy or Sky Island
Is
Luffy tomorrow.
is that what you meant when you said you wanted to practice Sky Island Luffy? Because you didn't really like tell me. You were just like, "Oh, I need to practice this." So like I didn't practice Sky Island Luffy. I'll play it some tonight though.
So if you're not aware, so like on this channel we do our competitive series. So I go through every leader, through every new set, and play competitive winning lists as well on this channel. Adjacent to the podcast. So that's the goal. So that video is gonna, with us two together, is gonna show up on this channel as one of the competitive videos. So for the yellow Luffy, it's one of the few that I have left. I already did Lucy. I've already done Purple Linnell. I've done Brooke. I've not done Krieg, and I have not done Luffy. And what's the other one? Oh, I did Rebecca. I did Rebecca last week. So I have 2 left. So I figured it is yellow, so it is more up his alley.
Yeah, I'll run some games tonight. It's fine. No biggie.
Yeah. And so come check us out. We'll be on my channel, KebbieG. And then other than that, this week I'm gonna be playing One Piece all week. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna be prepping, also doing some spicy lists. I hope. I'm not sure which list I'm gonna do. If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the podcast. And we'll talk to you guys next week. If you have any questions, leave them down below as well, and we will address them on basically kind of air. I don't know. And we'll talk to you guys next time.